Go ahead and tell me more about this Octurian being that's assisting you in the light chamber, rejuvenating on that light frequency bed that you're on. And now that your body's completely charged inside of that light chamber, you just said that your body was complete. Where does your body go now?
I can sense myself here. It's 3D suit.
And now we're going to let that scene drift away back into wherever it has come. And we're going to move forwards to another important day. One that you consider to be an important day, where there's something happening in this life or any life that needs to be seen. As we're moving back and back. Now we've arrived. Where are we?
I see some dolphins. And flying dolphins.
Flying dolphins?
Flying dolphins.
You see dolphins flying. Are you flying with them?
I'm not sure.
Are they all around you?
There's only a few coming towards me. Smiling.
Wonderful. Let's let these dolphins come and speak with you.
Spiral like an infinity all around me, and then they just blast it.
This sounds wonderful. As we're still traveling to wherever we're going, keep describing for me the journey we're on. Are the dolphins gone?
Yeah.
Now it's just you by yourself again. We're going to keep drifting and floating and drifting. We're going to find the most appropriate scene to stop and look and examine. And now we're arriving at this scene. I want you to stop, look, and examine. Describe for me, where are we?
I could see like a round kind of thing above with all of the spheres of the light around it, but then it's almost like a glass, but not. I'm kind of looking in the window a bit right now. There seems to be some kind of beams in there.
You're up above it.
I guess you could say, yeah.
When you're looking in,
Yeah.
what do the beings look like that you're looking in on?
Fully picking them out. It's like, okay, it's definitely a ship. Very weird.
Describe it for me.
It's like in there, they're kind of levitating. Not really blocked, but they're just like, it's like these floating beams.
What are they doing?
And they're moving around. There's a couple different levels in there. It seems like there's like, it seems almost metal or something. It's not a pretty ship like I'm used to.
No, it's more of a metal ship, huh?
Yeah.
What are the beings moving around in their sense like they're
very,
doing?
Like everything's very gray in there.
Very gray.
Yeah, it's not colorful like I'm used to.
And do the beings in there seem happy?
No, they just seem to be like, they're just doing whatever they're doing, but they don't seem to have any emotion.
But you're not in the ship.
I'm not in the ship. No, they don't know I'm watching them.
If you were to look at yourself right now, do you have a body?
Still blue, white.
You're still blue light.
Yeah. Blue, I guess you could call it liquid light.
And what's the purpose of seeing this ship? Are they in your way from traveling?
Yeah, I kind of just stumbled upon them.
So can we go around them now?
Yes, please.
Alright, now we're up, over, around, to, and through. Here we go. Done. Alright, now we're around them into another part of the galaxy. Now that we're arriving, where are we? Describe it for me, please.
I'm back in my universe.
Wonderful. Describe your universe for me.
Feels twinkling.
Twinkling. Safe.
Yeah.
And you're one with your universe.
Like just in the bath.
And from this nice, safe, comfortable place where you exist with no body, as nobody, as just pure consciousness that knows itself fully and completely. I'm going to ask you to go deep inside of your completeness and come out the other side. And as you travel through, describe for me, what do you see?
I kind of went from like the liquid and like formed into a bird humanoid creature staring at myself. Nothing's everything at once. It's humorous.
You're watching many forms of yourself look at themselves.
Yeah. Well, just right now, just this. I'm being asked to go somewhere in greater form. This is what it showed me.
The part human, the part bird.
Yeah.
Wonder,
But it really isn't. But
does this part human, part bird have any jewelry on it? Clothes? Is it carrying anything in its hands, or it's
you can sense what you would call here as a belt.
a belt?
A light belt. It can sense. Like, it's not jewelry, it's not clothes, but it's like part the head light and belt light.
Kind of like a hat and a belt.
But not, no.
What's in the belt? Is it holding something up, or is it just there for a part of the...
Yeah.
What's the message that you have for yourself in this moment?
It's travel device.
Travel device, how does that work?
It's just energy. It's just created into the form. And so when coming in to create itself as some kind of form, then it's just these energy centers, when they're calling like the belt area or the head, that can just be at any time pressed and activated to go back into liquid light. That I can travel from different forms.
How or where did you get that from?
We created it.
Can you show others how to do that?
Others, meaning who?
Other seekers? Other astral travelers that have beneficial intentions for the multiverse? Other magicians? Sebastian personally?
We're very mindful of who we're going to share this with.
What about with Majestic?
We just did.
Perfect. Will she remember this?
Just remember, pieces. This is available. It's always been available.
Is this how she can travel without a passport or an ID? On physical Earth to other places?
This is a possibility, but many beliefs need to step out of the way, and the full knowing and full activation of the light body must be in order to successfully travel in this way. She's not quite there yet.
So I'm assuming since you're in this human bird figure that can travel anywhere, that you don't have a last day of your life to go travel to, do you?
No. We have always existed, and we will always exist in one form or another.
Gotcha. So, can you tell me what the purpose is of showing Majestic this part of this lifetime?
Yes, we've shown her much. We are showing her that, yes, the possibility of the ability to travel in different forms just within the light body is how she has traveled before, and how she is still traveling in other universes and planes of existence. We are presenting to her, she's not just working with the avians, the blue avians, but she is also part avian. Showing her that, yes, there are all kinds of things within the multiverse to travel to and through, and you may not resonate with all, and that is okay, especially when you're already holding your pure frequency. I've shown her different forms, like being part of the light, being part of the plasma, the different shapes, where she is still traveling in these different ways. The Arcturians are still working with her. They are just choosing to not be the forefront of attention. We're looking in the background, what shall we say?
So, whom I'm speaking with right now is a part of the consciousness of all of these parts of Majestic. Would this be the subconscious I'm talking to, or the superconscious? Whom am I speaking with right now?
You could say the superconscious.
I had a feeling we were speaking with you already. I appreciate you for being here. I know that you have the answers to anything and everything. I really respect the power of the superconscious because I know it takes care of Majestic's body completely and it deserves to be respected. I'm also aware that you have the records of everything that has ever happened to Majestic in every single lifetime that she has ever lived, and I respect your power. I'm going to ask, may I have your permission to ask some questions that Majestic has left for me?
Yes.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
In the meantime, we are doing an activation.
Wonderful. So as you're activating her, I'm going to start with the first question is, can you give her a full body scan? And as you're activating her right now?
That isn't necessary right now.
Perfect.
Let's just do the activation.
Perfect. What's happening while you give her the activation?
We're moving and flowing the energy. I'm giving her tools to do it, which is currently physically having a little struggles with it, so we're giving a little boost of movement and flow.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. She appreciates that herself. All right. May I ask questions while you're activating her?
Yes.
All right. What are some of the creative ideas, outlets, mediums for her to work with that are in alignment with her purpose that will bring her financial prosperity on this earth in this time now?
Energy healing?
What does this mean?
Utilizing her abilities with her hand and her voice to transmute and upgrade energy on others.
She has this gift and skill.
She does, yes.
What formula would you recommend that she uses to go about doing this?
She can utilize the light language that already comes through, and with the light language, there's always movement that comes through at the same time. That is what's doing what we're calling energy healing. So allow those two to work together. They already are.
Wonderful. All right. So her other question is, what can she do to support herself here in the physical world? House, money, food, things, material things that are necessary. What she can do to support herself. It's kind of like the same question she just asked the first one, but different.
First, getting in the frequency of fully allowing collaboration with others.
How would she go about doing that, collaborating with others and getting in the state of allowing?
a state of allowing us continue our practices and really having to release all doubt.
Can you help her release that doubt right now? In that activation you're doing?
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Collaborating with others, and in essence, this is a collaboration right now.
That's true. Acknowledging she's already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked, what are some of the creative ideas, outlets, mediums, things she could work with that are in alignment with her purpose to bring financial prosperity? So you said one thing was working with the light language and the clearings and the healings, like you just said. What other
Channeling.
channeling? In what form?
Sharing information from the different parts of herself.
How does she market that? How does she get out there to be able to collaborate with the other people who would be willing to accept what she has to offer? How does she go about that?
And the star seeds. Your star seeds. It's just a week. Share her story. Be more vulnerable.
Be more vulnerable and share her story.
Mm-hmm.
Like making videos and posting them on YouTube, or
She could write.
she could write
She could write.
like a book or a story or a poem, journal.
She began to write and see what comes through.
See how it feels.
Yes, and then she could translate that into word. Many channelers begin this way.
Okay. So it's a form of channeling.
Yes, she already channels. She channels the vibrations, she channels the frequencies, but she's not understanding how to translate into that something that would make sense for most.
But if she starts writing, it'll just start coming out.
Yes.
And then she starts making videos of herself, like just getting into the light language and just taking a few deep breaths and letting it come through with her voice and her arms flapping in the air like a light liquid dancer or something. That's a way of getting out there.
Yes.
Is
It would benefit to connect with others, doing retreats, others doing events. But she could start
so she puts
by first
together.
gaining her confidence.
She can put something together to offer.
Yes.
Okay. And that will help her gain her confidence because she'll know she has something to offer. Then she can present it and people will be like, yes, wonderful. Okay, the next question she says, is qhht and theta healing a part of her purpose? Would that be beneficial for her to focus on too?
This once again is needing the confidence.
Let's say she had confidence. Would qhht and theta healing be a part of her preferred beneficial purpose here to focus on?
This form right here, most definitely. Her as a practitioner, I feel if she maneuvers, if she creates her own form, her own flow, utilizing the skills, and gains the confidence,
She's already a valid,
releases all the fear.
because she's already just as valid as not having to teach someone else's already put together process, because she's got one that's just as equal. And that's what you were saying a minute ago about how she could support herself by being a channeler. I see, you're very wise, you're correct. So that's about what her soul wants her to do then too, I would assume.
Her soul just wants her to be.
Just to be.
Just to be okay with just being.
Be okay with just being.
Mm-hmm. Her soul wants her to embody the love that she truly is. Her soul wants her to release the fear and frustration of the world.
Can you help her with that right now? Can you help her feel what it feels like to feel that?
She feels it. Just in those moments, with that doubt or the other energy attempts to come through, she just needs to just tap back in. And no, it's an illusion. It's not real. It's a choice.
Gotcha. Well, her next question is very similar to all the other questions. What kind of services or products can she provide that will bring her financial prosperity?
Light language symbols she draws are great if she could even just simplify. She does. Have those as a product to offer.
Like the light language symbols and stickers or something?
That would be a good idea. Although.
Or how would you do the light language symbols?
Right know how to.
She has helpers that can help her do anything. She doesn't have to figure that out, but the light language symbols are valid.
Oh, yes.
Are there any other products that she might be able, or services she might be able to include in what you've already said?
Energy with her hands.
Like a Sparkletron Reiki or something.
I've asked her to work with this. She's feeling it a bit right now. With a little more ease. She has much power.
Well, she doesn't believe in Reiki, that's why. She doesn't understand how to believe in it. So maybe you can upload her with what it is right now through this movement of the hands and let her know that Reiki is just exactly what she's doing. An embodiment of a frequency that channels through her hands, like you just said. She could call it whatever she wants. So she has another question here. She says, what lessons are there to be learned from her relationship with Sebastian?
Forgiveness. Greater tolerance. patience.
Is this going to help her move forward in her relationship with him with more joy?
When we're working with others, it's multifaceted.
What does that mean?
That means all of the personalities are there, working together or not. So it is not just up to her.
Is it beneficial for her to be in a relationship with Sebastian working in this way?
It is in some ways, it isn't in others.
Well, for her soul's journey to be completed on this planet in this time, could you give her advice on whether she should choose another path or whether she should stay on this one?
There's not one path.
She wants to know what the most beneficial path for her ascension journey is.
Continue working on herself. Continue believing in herself more. Trusting herself and stepping into her full power and worth. It's a process.
Which apparently has nothing to do with the outside, is what you're saying?
It's nothing to do with anybody else.
Wonderful.
Once that is succeeded, then everything else will flow gracefully.
So what is the lesson that she hasn't gotten yet, or lessons that she needs to get that she's working on right now that she can work on to be able, that you're talking about? Because she says, are there any lessons in her life that she has not gotten yet? What are they?
The lesson, I don't know if you call it a lesson, that she is worthy. The remembrance of her empowerment. The lesson that nobody can take her power away.
Can you remind her of that? What it feels like to be empowered and to know that nobody can take her power away, because really no one can.
It's true.
Alright, she's got a lot more questions, so I'm going to go kind of fast through a bunch of them. You can tell me where to stop at any moment, but one here that just got thrown in is Lauren, who lives in this valley. She has come recently into the radars. Is she a team member of Majestic, and should they be working together on this gateway experience? Or at all in any way?
The gateway experience is a minor tool. A little extra assistance, not needed, but can be utilized on the journey. Really, it is up to Lauren, and if she is willing to also step into her power. They have this in common.
Have they known each other in any other lives?
Serious?
What were they doing there?
Feels that Lauren was part of much advanced technologies.
What did you do on Sirius?
She's more of a visitor.
She was a visitor?
Yes.
Lauren or Majestic?
Majestic.
And Lauren was actually from there?
Yes.
So
Well-liked visitor.
you came to visit her there? Wonderful. So another question. There's another being she wants to know if she knows Galaxy the cat. Where is he from? Has she known him before in any other lives? Or
Galaxy. The beam of love. From the source.
definitely.
Spark of the source.
I guess that answers that. Are there any plant medicines that are beneficial for her in her ascension journey?
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca?
Uchuma? DMT and the God molecule is neutral. She may have already received the energy in which it is, in which she is.
Gotcha. Mushrooms isn't on that list.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be scared of mushrooms.
They're a different energy field.
What does that mean?
They're from a different dimensional realm than she's from.
Oh.
Than she exists mainly in. She's much more closer to the DMT realm.
Wonderful.
Mushrooms aren't bad. There's nothing to be scared of, but it just may
not
not
for her.
be.
Gotcha. She wants to also know what are the tall beings that have been seen around her.
Different ones at different times.
Like
Arcturians have been seen around her, yes. A while back.
what about the dragons? Are there any dragons around her?
Dragons is an interesting term.
She's been told there's many dragons around her by people. She doesn't know what they mean. She's wondering what that means.
There's no in the form that she's imagining it as these reptile actual dragons.
They're not like that.
But she has a visual of that type of dragon is not existing in her field.
Yeah. Gotcha.
If anything, it could be more like when she goes into that DMT realm and seeing that movement of the tunnels. Some may call that dragon energy. She's not necessarily working with the dragons, no.
Gotcha. So what is her connection to unicorns all about?
Unicorn, since a child, is the form of magic. It's the mystical, magical realm. The reminder of her purity and innocence, of the pure light in which she truly is. A reminder to stay connected with that purity, with that light, and to be a reminder of the mysticisms that some may call it, the magic that is always available and is of her true essence.
Wonderful. What about her connection to the sacred waters and her love for dolphins?
Family. She's connected to the water planets, to the sacred water, the dolphins. Connection is connected with Sirius also.
Gotcha.
They are some of the highest frequencies in this realm in which she is currently embodied that have remembrance codes.
She's wondering why she's scared of going under the water.
It isn't her fear, it's her mother's fear that got projected and programmed into her. But since it was from the beginning, also while being in the womb of a safe place in the water space, that wasn't necessarily what she felt her experience was. So she's associating it with being in the water and coming to a space that didn't feel that safe. Instead of connecting to the remembrance of the water planets and the freedom of being the water and the flow.
Gotcha. So can you clear, cancel, and delete that trauma that she had from the being born process and remind her of what it's like to be from all of the water planets that she's still actually existing in according to you? Can you remind her of that love and bypass that trauma and just remind her of what it's like to be free? Wonderful. Thank you. She wants to also know, what is her connection with Lemuria?
On this planet, the existence and stories of the Lemurians is the closest, and which could be of resonance within the frequency. The universe she comes from, Lemurians were physical but also non-physical.
So she's not a Lemurian? She just, they're a family that reminds her of her family where she came from?
Yes. She wants a different story, but it's just, sorry.
So there's also this other continent called Mu, not Lemuria, Mu. You know anything about that?
You, the continent of another ancient civilization.
She's obviously not from there. Okay, great. She wants to know about the beings and the symbols in her drawings. What are they?
It's not just one thing. There's many different communications. While she was in Kauai, first started coming through, then there was a lot of different types of beings there that were excited about the open-hearted communication. So they were just presenting themselves in different forms. A lot of them, she draws a lot of bird-like characters, which is, as we had shown her, the blue avian style, the bird connection. But it's like not a full bird, just that energy field. There's a lot of aquatic type beings of her aquatic part of herself. There's a lot of little things that almost look like sperms. Those would be an expression of kind of form, but before taking on any form within that realm of existence. She's tapped into many different realms. She's drawn a more like an Arcturian high priestess once, drawn a couple more nature spirits at times. The aquatic realm and are come through the most.
That's her family from the aquatic planets she's from.
Yeah, and other ones, it's like kind of days of like taking this energy of the light and all of the colors and the movement and just trying to capture in a shot of what would be. And then it looks a little extraterrestrial because can't quite put our finger on what it is.
All right. She also has more questions of why does she have a dream of a retreat center manifest destiny, and she's had it for so many years as a dream. Is it really her dream and her purpose?
It was our friend Lala that first presented it, and it was the first gateway, first open gateway to read something that made so much sense to her in the space that she was at the moment of transcending and moving away from those energy fields into something within this human experience that felt very harmonious and beautiful. And this is where her connection with Meg comes in, because Meg is also a visionary, the same as Lala was, within this sort of vision of bringing everyone together for these types of places. So she very much, when she looks out and sees what's already existing, this idea feels, and it is being done, and it will continue to in many different ways, feels like the highest joy with that she can foresee at this moment within a transition within this physical reality, utilizing this physical reality, a space of creativity, of health and vitality, a space where people of that frequency can come together and share and grow.
So is it beneficial for her to maybe work with parts of that retreat center vision with the Megan Florida Visionary Crew team? Should she transfer that vision to a new vision, or is that something she just should leave in the past?
Meg has just begun.
Yeah.
There's missed opportunities Opportunities will continue to open and flow. It's all about divine timing. And this is why it's necessary of her getting past any of her leftover fears and unbeneficial doubts, especially created with worth, and to step more fully into her power, and then the right opportunity will align.
Is there any steps that you can recommend that she takes for being able to do that right now, from your perspective? Because I know she wants to.
She just has to do it. It's just a matter of a shift in belief. She already knows.
Just change her mindset.
It's just a mindset change. If it's not happening overnight, then she just needs to continue.
Because it will happen.
Yeah, she just needs to keep up.
Great.
She's doing a lot of practices already that are good. She stopped doing the mirror work because she was having troubles looking in the mirror and actually believing what she was saying, but that's part of the process of having to get through. And so I believe that's why she brought the mirror upstairs even, instead of having to go to the bathroom. So I don't know why she's avoiding the mirror.
Well, we're going to cleanse, clear, and cancel and delete all old programs that are non-beneficial running right now in the name of the divine prime creator of all that is. And we're going to give her the opportunity with your power to remind her she's beautiful and amazing, and she's confident and charged, and she's worthy, and she's valid, and she's appreciated even, and wanted. We love her, so we're going to send her that love. All right. She also says, why has she had thoughts of moving to Florida? How can Florida be beneficial for her? What could she do to support herself with the housing, finances in Florida?
Well, the thoughts of it's obvious. It's come in with the invitation that kept being presented for her as she dreamed herself into a world with Meg, and the door was open. So this is where she wouldn't have thought of going back to Florida on her own, but this is where the thought came in because there was an opportunity that was available.
Gotcha. So that's where that all came from. So if she's supposed to be there, she'll know. So what are her gifts and superpowers? How can she activate her abilities like teleportation, heightening her clairs and intuition, her psychic abilities, her ability to astral travel, etc.?
She has the gift with the hands, with energy, which she's not impressed with, is what we're getting, that she wants something more fabulous. But it is a gift, nonetheless. She has the invisibility cloak, invisibility gift, which once again is actually a gift, utilized correctly. The fact that she knows all of these things are available to her is a great stepping point. She had previously asked for that to all be shut down, and so now as she's been asking for it to all be turned on, we're just moving minusculely ahead with caution to make sure that the vessel can handle it.
Gotcha. She wants to know why is she currently in this free place in Hilt, out of all places that she could be. Is it a beneficial place for her to be? And if so, for how long?
It's neutral. She wasn't ready to step into her full empowerment, which was the Miami step. She allowed fear to get in the way. And so within that frequency, we provided a neutral space for her to rejuvenate and cultivate the energies that she's needed in order to proceed forward. How long, that's really up to her, how long it takes her to get it.
Is there anything that she can do to make money while she's here? Or is that for her to not worry about?
I believe she wrote a message, release the how and allow.
Wonderful. So she can just allow.
Any little ideas, follow them all the way through. But also any moments that she has that other voice that says, then listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knew for that event that was going to be pretty pointless, but she just was wanting to try so hard to try, right? That's the word. She wanted to make the connection. She wanted the ability to have others to co-create with, so she didn't want to be letting herself down or letting you down by not having something to provide. But if it's not when we're involving others, then it's a collaboration of energies. But she knew, the greater part of her knew that it sounded good, but there wasn't really anything there.
Yeah. Gotcha. So
just listen to that intuition and don't be forceful. Forcefulness gets you nowhere but going in circles.
All right, well, I'm gonna ask just like one more question, and I have something else that she wants that's important. So one thing she has here, there's so many questions, we are never gonna get to them all in this one session or the last 5. However, we're grateful that we have the answers from you because you're really a pleasant being to speak with.
She already knows all the answers.
How can she free herself from the matrix, aka her passport, ID? How can she like reclaim her sovereignty?
Well, that's where she's asking for the activation of her powers and abilities to be accessible, correct?
I would assume so, yes.
Because within completely remembering the true divine blueprint of that's accessible, even as being a human, then all of that just falls away. So she's in the right train of thought of focus, but it could happen overnight. It doesn't feel like she believes that it could happen overnight. So there's a process.
All right, one more. Who or what is Azura, which keeps coming up for her?
Azure. Blu-ray. It is connected with the Blu-ray. It is also connected with your term here, Christ consciousness. We presented her that word as she's done the research. Then she's seeing that it is connected to all of the teachings, the mystery school teachings that were passed to her, in which at that time with Bhavani she didn't believe that she was one of the original, but she is. It's one of the original beings of creation.
The Azura?
Yes, that's a term we can utilize.
So they're beneficial teachings.
Yes, mind you, others put their own interpretations on it or have their own dialogue, but the point is remembering the connection to the center point of the teaching she was passed down. I would say the symbols, the Book of Charms, and some of just more the songs are the most beneficial. If she were to dive deeper into it, would be the most beneficial. We have traveled much forward. And the civilization drop all of the fear-based knowledge that was coming through. It's unnecessary for her. So just look at the symbols. Sing the song. It activates the DNA.
Great. So she could sing the song.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the symbols because that'll help her to.
Mm-hmm. There are other activation points. Ashayana did know what she was doing. She got lost a little bit in some of the fear complex herself, but what was coming through was a lot of very valid information and codes for beings of whom who want to step into their full ability to teleport, move their energy from space to space, and so on. Remote view, which is another gift if she wants to tap into it.
For what reason?
That's what we mean. If she wants to tap into it, she does have the ability.
So when you say remote view and you say astral travel, why does she want astral travel? She's trying to get to Hawaii to go drink a coconut?
It seems she wants to astral travel to get more answers and clarities of the multiverse.
Would this be astral traveling right now?
I would say it is a form for sure.
I would agree.
Yes, but it seems that maybe she is not fully satisfied with the past lives that we're bringing her to.
So why do you show her?
So she's wanting to astral travel, I guess, to view other people's past lives.
Oh, wonderful.
So maybe in that essence, then
Ah.
being a practitioner with a qhht, if she could drop fear, would be very beneficial now, wouldn't it?
It would, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
But she could
But
probably.
we could continue traveling to
So
the
she-
same place and seeing different aspects. That's fine.
She could travel to maybe one of Sebastian's past lives and tell him some stuff about his past life if she wanted, huh?
If they both trust enough.
Well, I think that we're beyond the trust at this current moment, 11 years deep.
Means nothing.
It means everything because the only people
Gotta trust gotta trust the ability to really release and allow yourself to go. And trust, like she's sitting here throughout most of the session, still feeling as if she's making it all up. But this is how many go through these sessions these days. It's not like we're like an entity that comes in and takes over the whole body and just takes you on this crazy journey. No, we're a part of you.
Well, everybody's expecting something else, like aliens or something are going to come and just...
Exactly. So she's expecting to go to some... And it's possible. Some people have had past lives in different places as different entities and different things, so they can go and experience that. But if that's not your experience, it's not your experience.
So you just got to be okay with being who and what you are.
Yes.
Because you're valid.
Well, it's quite magical, so it's very much silly that she's not satisfied because it's almost what we see is happening for her. It's almost that she thinks this is too good to be true. So that's a program right there. That's a belief, a program. This is too good to be true.
Can we remove
it
this
must
belief
be
system?
being tricked, but you're not being tricked. That comes from worthiness once again, right?
Yep.
Why does she not think that she's worthy enough to actually be who she truly is?
Why doesn't she? Can you do a full body scan and tell me why she doesn't believe that? Start at the head, please. Thank you. I appreciate it.
The head's been being worked on.
By who? By what? And for why?
Activating more of the Christ consciousness, which that means just the consciousness into the remembrance of the one and what she truly is.
Oh.
Well, why? Because within that, everything else is answered.
So as you scan the body going all the way down through the head, everywhere else, there's not a lot of other problems, or there is other problems. They're all being worked out through the head. Can you explain to me what's going on?
What begins there, that is the initial work in which Azure is part responsible for this work. No, it's not an implant. It's an energy implant. Perhaps that's the wrong word to be utilized at all. Her neck, her throat, she's doing a lot better. She's still having a little bit of the choking, the fear of speaking up, of speaking her truth, of social things, which once again isn't from her. That comes from her lineage, from the beginning.
Can we remove that right now? So that she doesn't have to deal with it anymore? Because it's not hers, you said.
It is not hers. I recommend that she continues to, like light language, it such flows through her naturally at different times. And maybe she can sit with an intentional practice and allow it to more come through.
Such as what? Can you give an example?
Such as sitting with perhaps her own little meditation that she creates with the full intention to allow open communication to flow through. It's a little bit like the point that she missed with the Gateway project that she just started. She missed the whole affirmation part, which is actually affirming what it's calling in, so it's affirming it all to have the experience, and she bypassed that completely. So that would be another part. Go back, get that clear, and utilize that as an example for her own creative practice.
Great, so that could be a template and she can modify it to create her own practice. Sounds like you're telling her that she needs to create her own practice because she already has it created. She needs to have confidence that it's valid and it's going to work and that people need it, want it, and including it doesn't really matter about anybody. She needs it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I heard you say. She needs that because she's really good at it for herself. So as you're doing the body scan through, you got to her neck and her throat, and
her heart feels a lot better.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sunshine and roses, that was a fun little thing to put into place. But yes, that was a beautiful release, and her heart's a lot more lighter. Although just little sparks of resentment and regret. And so really right now has to release and let go of, there's no wrong decisions to be made. Even though certain decisions, yes, you may have evolved quicker, but it doesn't mean that if you weren't ready, you weren't ready. So there's no wrong decisions, so she doesn't have to have those kind of feelings towards herself. So forgiveness is key.
So her mission is not done here on this planet. She still wants to stay. She's trying to check out of here.
A parallel version of her did make the contract to check out.
And did she change that contract, or is it still playing out?
That version is checking out, yes.
And what's the scheduled departure of that version?
Can't say.
And will it be a shift in the energy for the beings that are around, or will it be just a shift of energy for the being that it is? Will that version of herself that's dying and checking out be leaving the physical dimension that the practitioner's in currently, or is that in another part of the multiverse?
Another time frame. If
And-
anything, it would be, if anything, that version of self probably is more beneficial over in the non-physical realm.
Great. So it can take with it all of that doubt and lack of self-confidence and all of those other issues that this physical version
It
here.
can be beneficial, yes.
Great, wonderful. So if we're going
Death
to,
isn't a bad thing.
so
Sometimes it can be very good.
wonderful. So all of those different beings and different parts of that being that are non-beneficial that caused that being to want to check out of that timeline happen to be connected to this version in this timeline. So now that this version in this timeline doesn't have to deal with those karmic ties, you would say, from the genetics.
Yes, that version of herself never made it free. That version of herself got trapped on the meds, got trapped in that life, got trapped back there, and never had that little knowing inside, but never got to awaken. So it just had to go through all of that part of the system in which she here now fears, but hasn't been having to exist in like that version of herself did.
Wonderful. And that version of herself that checked out and went back to the source energy, it didn't die a traumatic life, death.
It is still here. It's still existing,
Did it choose to
but it will be gracefully leaving
gracefully leaving
soon,
soon?
much like Toby.
Wonderful. And we'll be left with the smell of roses. As we do this body scan, we keep going down through the
Navel
heart.
still. The power center is still very weak.
Why is the power center weak? Can you start by charging it up and then let us know where the leak is? And then we're going to fill up that leak so that it can't leak out any longer. It's surrounded with the source energies, divine love. And let us learn the lesson. What is the lesson that needs to be learned to keep this charged source energy flowing through this energy center?
The lesson is to continue believing, to continue loving. To step into your power, fire up your Agni. Breath work daily. Allow the right amount of fire. Allow assistance from the element of fire in the correct amount. There's nothing to be scared of.
So the opposite of disempowerment and lack of confidence is I am confident and I am empowered. I sit with my connection to source energy. I am infinite and eternal, and I am worthy, and I know it, and I'm flowing this now through this chakra. We're going to keep that body scan going. Let's keep on seeing where's next. If anything is still there, let's go ahead and give her a
Lower
voice.
back and the hips.
Lower back and the hips.
That's of not knowing how to move forward. Sometimes it's okay to not know immediately. Sometimes it's okay to be in a pause point. Forgive yourself.
What does she need to forgive herself for?
For putting fear in where everything, all of the signs and communication were showing her divine guidance, and instead not listening and listening to fear. That it's okay.
Because now she knows what both voices are.
Yeah.
So she knows which one to listen to. Can you make that one way louder for her right now? She's got a ringing in her ear already. Can you just...
The ringing in the ear at the beginning, yes.
What's that from? You?
Different communications at times. You come through, or sometimes it's just energy being like, hey, we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
We got you, we're with you. The blue avians like to do physical type things. Like a sensation suddenly in the back. Or
Can the blue avians send some of that source light through from their council right now into her lower back and hips and let her know that it's all right to move forward and trust her confident
they sent her
path?
the bluebird. They sent her the bogue and the bluebird. Which hopes and prosperity, so there are ways. Continue believing in magic.
The unseen realm can make itself seen.
Yes.
Of course it can. And you are an amazing being who's obviously making yourself seen and heard right now from the unseen realms. So thank you for being here. Can we complete this body scan and go down through the hips and the lower back now and see is there any other places that the energy stops?
Trust in her legs. It's a little bit of the trust of being fully embodied. It shows up sometimes in her legs, making movements difficult, but that can easily be fixed. But to remember that in this physical vessel you have the muscles and the bones and everything, so just continue working with it. And she hates the cold water, especially in the shower, but the cold water therapy is very good.
Wonderful. So she can incorporate some cold water therapy in the shower for at least a couple minutes or whatever.
She puts on the cold water, she screams and stops it.
She should take a deep breath and relax and keep it on.
Yes. It's eventually she'll be able to dip in cold water again. It's still very challenging for her, but a little, it's nice to be immersed in the cold water rather than cold speckles.
Yeah.
Flicking at you, so we understand. It's not quite the same as what we're asking her, but just do your best.
Okay. So we've already started at the brain where it's being increased and loved and worked on and doubly.
And the feet connecting in and grounding with the earth. The meditation she's created and connecting with all the best parts of earth, to remember that. To remember that she is here on this planet Earth. That may not be her home planet. And yes, there is much destruction here. But that is not the Earth. That is what she is calling the Matrix. That is this illusion, this perception, disconnecting from the Earth that has been placed upon the humans that get incarnated here, or the beings that get incarnated here. And so for her to not disconnect or not want to connect with the earth and be embodied for as long as she has isn't doing her a service. If anything, connecting with the earth herself that is very loving and nurturing and beautiful is beneficial for herself and her vessel having this experience. This is why she is here. She is come because she sees the beauty of this earth. And so, helping to awaken as many that want to choose to be in vibrational alignment with the true frequencies of the earth as possible, then we must be the embodiment of earth too.
So putting her feet on the ground will actually help her out sometimes.
Yes.
Even if it's sitting in a nice, soft, comfortable spot where her feet can just touch the soft ground.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Is that the complete body scan?
At this moment, yes.
Is there anything that she can do to remember what happened here today and what the best part of all this is, what she can do to better take care of her body? And I'm pretty sure you gave her all the answers to everything she asked for. Is there anything else you want to leave her with before we close this session?
Perception is key. Perception is key. And yes, eat light, be light. Eating lighter, fresh vegetables and fruit is absolutely rest. But also, remember that it goes beyond that, so don't allow the program and the belief connected once again with the lineage and fatness to overtake you moment to moment. You need to just erase that.
Can we erase it and replace it right now for her? We can erase it, pretty easily done. What can we replace it with?
I am beautiful. I have a perfect body. I feel wonderful in my body. I'm fit. I am energetic in my body. I put the best things ever in my body. I have a strong, healthy, youthful bodysuit. I have a beautiful bodysuit.
Wonderful. That's really good to put back in. As of now, through source energy, this divine will be done right now through your body. It is accepted and remembered. It is done. Thank you for all of the beautiful answers that you've given us to all of her awesome questions. I know it's been a really long time for her bodysuit, even though I know you're out of time and space. I'm going to go ahead and slowly zip up this container. And I'm going to ask all of the other energy that we've been dealing with today to be transmuted and transcended and transformed into the most beneficial energy outside of Majestic's life. And I'm going to ask all of the energy and consciousness and awareness and joy of Majestic to come back into her body. I'm going to ask the super consciousness to recede to wherever it is supposed to be. I respect the power of the subconscious, and I'm super grateful for the subconscious. Thank you for answering, super conscious. Thank you for answering all of our questions. And with much thanks and with much gratitude, we appreciate the information that you've given us here today. I know Majestic is really going to appreciate it. And now I'm going to bring, on the count to 10, we're slowly but surely going to integrate all of your most beneficial, joyful parts of your consciousness back into your body. Now I want all the consciousness and personality of Majestic to once again be fully integrated back into her body, replacing all of the other parts we were speaking with. Now I want Majestic to move up, up, up through time, up through space, to orient yourself back into